Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. Leader of the opposition, Dr. Lavvern, has delivered a sharp assessment of the new government, which has been in office for less than 2 weeks. Speaking at his first news conference since his Unity Labour Party suffered a heavy 14-1 defeat at the polls, Dr. Gonsalves said he intends to perform his new role with duty, dignity and love. He stressed that while the ULP has endured a major setback, the party views the moment as an opportunity to regroup, renew and defend what he describes as the gains made for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
We have a vision as to where this country ought to go, and we will make proposals, both in relation to the large vision and also on specific matters as they arise and as they become imminent. Thirdly, we will expose where there is patent wrongdoing, where there is unfairness, where there is injustice. And last of all, we will seek to depose constitutionally, legally, the government. That is why we say we will turn the setback into an advance. And I use the words so that they can rhyme. Oppose, propose, expose, and depose, but I add constitutionally, legally, lest anyone think otherwise, because we have been a democratic organization and really part of our quest. And it begins from the moment we were defeated to replace the government the next time we go to the polls. I think these things, I put them in a summary way so that there can be no doubt as to the manner in which we are proceeding. So I conjoin what I said on the Saturday immediately after the election in relation to what the party is seeking to do, and link those with the functions of the opposition.
Expanding on the support he has been receiving, Dr. Gonsalves noted that many Vincentians have expressed concern about the country's direction following the significant political shift. He said he has received numerous phone calls and visits at his Goss residence, along with strong support during walkabouts in various communities. He assured ULP supporters, Vincentians at home and abroad, and the wider Caribbean that he is fully committed to leading the parliamentary opposition. He dismissed criticism suggesting that he may retreat from the frontline politics, insisting that neither he nor the ULP intends to mark time. Expressing disappointment in what he describes as the government's early performance, Dr. Gonsalves said the administration appears disorganized, pointing to the distribution of ministerial portfolios and what he called early missteps that reveal a complete lack of preparation by the New Democratic Party for governance. The opposition leader highlighted what he said are visible struggles by the new government, for example, what he described as the temporary downgrade issue at the Argyle International Airport, which affected Virgin Atlantic operations. Dr. Gonsalves said the lack of curiosity and action by the new administration created an embarrassing scenario for the country and raised unnecessary concerns among international partners.
Had the government been curious, we would not have had the suspension of the Virgin flight. You won the election on Thursday night. That's the 27th. You have the 28th, the 29th, the 30th of November. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Sunday the 7th. 10 days. And that's the first time you're knowing that you have a problem at the airport runway. You get the point I'm making? I hope the public gets the point I'm making. You never should have had a cancellation. I know that DIPCON's equipment broke down on the Saturday, but you should not have left it that tightly if you were curious. Could have been done on the Friday. Unlikely that it could have been done on the Thursday, because that is the day when DIPCON cleans down his equipment. I knew the date. I hope the people getting the point that I'm talking about the necessity to be curious. This is This is before you reach any point about vision and implementation of any public policy. Just the matter of being curious. So I give that example. Now,
he stressed that international aviation relationships are delicate and that even minor lapses can affect a country's reputation. Dr. Gonsalves argued that an incoming government has a duty to fully acquaint itself with ongoing operational matters, especially at major national assets like the Argyle International Airport. Regarding the Christmas road cleaning program, Dr. Gonsalves said the ULP left behind a US $3 million allocation to cover payments for those involved. He emphasized that the program is not intended as an employment creation exercise, contrary to what he suggested the NDP government is portraying.
Income in a supplementary fashion for persons who are doing other things and who take time off. Sometimes it's a farmer. Sometimes it's a housewife who's doing something, and they will get 8 days minimum. Now, when the Prime Minister was sworn in, one of the first things he should have done is to call Ken Bartholomew of Braxa, because everybody knows Braxa carries out the program. But nobody spoke to Ken Bartholomew until the Friday before the workers went out on the Monday. By that time, the government was in office for 8 days. Again, an entire lack of curiosity. And as a result, so that persons will get paid on time, you can only give them 6 days. And then what did you do? You throw smoke in people's eyes by telling them an untruth that usually it's 5,000 workers, but you're creating 2,000 jobs. It's not a job creation program. It's a supplementary work program, supplementary income program. That's what it is. But if you base your proposition on a lie, it indicates where you're going.
He warned that politicizing the effort could lead to unrealistic expectations among citizens, especially at a time when fiscal management is crucial. The opposition leader also accused the NDP government of misleading public servants about its proposed bonus payments. Controller of Inland Revenue, Kelvin Pompey, has clarified that the upcoming VAT-free day scheduled for December 19th will not apply to food items sold or served in restaurants. Pompey issued the clarification during an interview on radio this morning, emphasizing that VAT exception applies strictly to eligible categories of tangible goods and does not extend to prepared meals, dine-in services, or other restaurant-related purchases. The controller noted that the Inland Revenue Department has received a surge of inquiries from the public, prompting officials to reiterate what qualifies under the VAT-free initiative. The first of its kind event in SVG designed to stimulate consumer spending ahead of the Christmas season.
Groceries and beverages.
Okay, good.
And this point needs elaboration because food served in restaurants, served in restaurants and guest houses, hotels, resorts, those are not zero rated.
Okay.
So the VAT-free would not extend to the fast food outlets, the restaurants, to the resorts. Somebody going to Stephen Cutler House, it would not be. Somebody going on to Sanders, so that it would not be.
Sensible.
Again, you have to look back at the intent of VAT-free day. Because it's really designed for the average consumer there who's going to go spend $100 and $250 on groceries, stocking up to have a good Christmas.
Pompey highlighted several important conditions consumers should keep in mind. Buyers must be non-commercial consumers, meaning that businesses purchasing goods for resale or commercial use does not qualify for the VAT exemption. Goods must already be in stock at the start of VAT-free day period. Retailers are not permitted to place special orders or bring in new stock specifically to benefit from the exemption. The Inland Revenue Controller explained that these rules are intended to ensure fairness among retailers and prevent abuse of the system.
Who is giving the VAT-free? And I think this is almost a moot point. Should be a VAT register. Secondly, the purchaser is a non-commercial consumer. The VAT-free day is not intended for businesses to buy goods for resale. Thirdly, the goods must be tangible goods, physical goods. That is, no services are included on this VAT-free day. However, the tangible goods would not include motor vehicles. That's one exclusion. And cigarettes. The next condition is that the goods must be in stock. During that day, you must have the good.
So you can't buy it in advance?
You cannot buy it in advance because this is a major loophole. Somebody, let's take being somebody who wants a chair set, and they go to one of the chair set retailers and they say, okay, I'm selling you now, but I have to order it and so forth. I have it in stock right now. No, that is excluded. And the final conditions we have is that the goods issued same day. And this is in relation to hire purchase, because the VAT-free day is not being extended to hire purchase transactions.
Pompey encouraged the public to review the full list of requirements and categories of eligible items to ensure a smooth and hassle-free shopping experience. The Inland Revenue Department is expected to publish additional guidance as the date approaches to help both consumers and merchants understand their responsibilities. In other news, newly appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade, Foreign Investment and Diaspora Affairs, Dwight Fitzgerald Bramble, received 2 courtesy calls on Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. One from His Excellency Carlos Hernandez Rodriguez Echeverry, Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and another from Her Excellency Ana Lelia Benicia Baltrin, Ambassador of the Federative Republic of Brazil to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A news release stated that during discussions with the Cuban ambassador, both parties reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening the long-standing bilateral relationship between the two countries. Minister Bramble expressed his interest in pursuing new opportunities to expand investment and trade while enhancing cooperation for the mutual benefit of both nations. According to the release, the meeting with the Brazilian ambassador provided an opportunity to congratulate the Minister Bramble on his recent appointment and to exchange views on ongoing initiatives. Both sides also explored potential areas for deeper collaboration. The ministry noted that it remains committed to advancing bilateral partnerships and emphasized that through continued dialogue and expanded cooperation, it aims to further the shared goals of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and its international partners. Newly appointed government senator and Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Lavvern King, says her early exposure to politics played a defining role in motivating her to help shape the change that she wants to see in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. She made the remarks during a radio interview on WeFM, where she discussed her journey to the House of Assembly and the experiences that influenced her political career. King noted that from childhood she felt drawn to a political arena, and when she was offered the opportunity to serve by Prime Minister Dr. Godwin Friday, she regarded it as an opportunity of a lifetime. That moment, she said, signaled the true beginning of her political journey.
But what that did was it exposed me, because she was always listening to different programs and she would call in and share opinions and so forth. And then after that, we ended up living in, for the later part of my secondary education, with Miss Paulette Williams. She was always into social issues and so forth, because she was a news anchor as well as a communications teacher. And what that meant was I was listening to the news every night, and so early exposure to issues piqued my interest in governance and public life. And when I went to UE, I got involved in the student government, the student guild there, became the vice president of the student body, which in essence is trajectory to more representation. And I was making a joke one time that when I first ran there, I was running to be the faculty representative for humanities and education, which I think the student population was about 5,000 people maybe. So I said, you know, I've run a campaign already for bigger than some constituencies. And then eventually, so I think that that early exposure to that sort of thing would have basically helped to steer me in this direction. But fast forward from all of that, when I was finished studying, later on, the opportunity came up when Dr. Godwin Friday, Prime Minister now, became the leader of the NDP. And there was a significant push for rebranding of the party and so forth. And someone reached out to me and said, why don't you come back? You studied comms. Why don't you come back and serve the party?
She reflected on the values instilled in her through the years of observing community leaders and public servants, explaining that these early experiences taught her the importance of service, accountability, and advocating for people whose voices are often overlooked. The senator added that her belief in young people as the future leaders of the nation also played an important role in her decision to enter politics at a young age. She explained that when youth become actively involved in national development, they contribute fresh ideas, innovative thinking, and perspectives that help to move the country forward.
And a lot of my friends at the time were saying, you know, if you go back home, you're going to find yourself in a problem where you can't really express yourself. And then instead of deterring me, it actually motivated me to go, because I was like, how could we have a country where most of us don't want to return? Most of us want to stay and find work elsewhere. And then other people are saying, wait until you're later to get into politics. And I thought that, why can't we give some of our best years to help to build our country? And if we want to see something change, then why can't we start now? Why should politics be reserved for people who have retired? I thought it to be the oddest of things. And so I thought to myself, I'll do it the other way around. I would give it some of my better years. And then when I reached retirement, I could then go on to be in like an advisory role or something. Then at that point, and there's no offense to people who get into politics when they're retired, but I also believe that politics, which in essence is helping to build the nation, when younger people get involved, you help to bring in fresh ideas, to marry them with people who are experienced in the bureaucracy of the public system. But when you bring in fresh blood, it helps them to also understand the times in which we exist. And so I always thought it an odd thing to say, oh, go and work and do everything you have to do first before you enter politics. But nobody says that go and do everything you want to be before you become the CEO of a business. You know, so it's just that this version of it is government, public service work, and in the private sector, it's, you know, private corporate. It's the same thing. Nobody tell you wait until you're 50 to try and become the CEO. And as opposed to deterring me, I thought, no, I'm going to go home and I'm going to do it.
King highlighted that young leaders often better understand the emerging challenges facing modern societies, such as technology, employment, and education, and therefore bring solutions that are relevant to the current generation. She encouraged more young Vincentians to take an active interest in leadership and civic participation, adding that meaningful national progress is achieved when youthful energy and lived experience work together to drive a positive change. Newly appointed Minister of Family, Gender Affairs, Persons with Disabilities, Occupational Safety and Labour, Lavvern Gibson-Velux, has confirmed that her ministry is actively responding to a disturbing video circulating online showing a toddler being physically abused. Speaking during a media address, Gibson-Velux stated that the department is fully aware of the incident and moved swiftly to ensure the child's safety as soon as the footage surfaced.
Division acted immediately upon receiving the report, and the child has since been safeguarded. Our team continues to monitor the situation to ensure the child's ongoing safety and well-being. The ministry reminds the public that the Children Care and Adoption Act 2010 places paramount consideration on the immediate safety, welfare, and well-being of every child in accordance with Section 12(1) of the Act. A child is in need of care and protection where the child B has been abused by a parent or by another person, and the parent knew or ought to have known of the possibility of the abuse of the child, and the parent failed to protect the child.
The minister noted that her team immediately engaged the relevant protective services, including social workers and law enforcement, to secure the well-being of the child and begin a formal investigation. She underscored that the ministry treats all reports of child abuse with the utmost urgency. Gibson Velux further expressed gratitude to the members of the public for their prompt concern and willingness to report the matter. She encouraged citizens to remain vigilant and protective when it comes to safeguarding children, emphasizing that protecting of minors requires continuous community involvement.
Urge citizens, if you have knowledge of or reasonable grounds to suspect that a child is being abused or is in need of care and protection, please report it to us without delay. Reports can be made to the Child Development Division located on Halifax Street, upstairs the Gecko Building, or by calling 494-6748 or 456-1111 extension 3914, or by visiting the nearest police station. All reports are treated with strictest confidentiality and may be made anonymously. The protection of our nation's children is a shared responsibility. Let us continue to work together to keep every child safe. Thank you.
The minister reminded the nation that safeguarding young people is not solely the ministry's responsibility, but a shared duties across families, neighborhoods, and society as a whole. President of the National Fisherfolk Organization, Winsworth Harry, has expressed satisfaction with the establishment of a designated Ministry of Fisheries by the new government. Harry described the move as a long-awaited step that demonstrates the administration's commitment to strengthening the fisheries sector. He said the creation of a dedicated ministry gives renewed hope to fisherfolk who have been advocating for greater attention and structured support. While optimistic about the future of the industry, Harry emphasized that he wants the new Prime Minister and the new Minister of Fisheries to place the needs of fisherfolk at the forefront of the national agenda.
I'd like to say that we, the fisherfolk of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, are very happy. We are confident that this new ministry will bring a plus and will bring benefit for all fisherfolks in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we know that over the years that the ministry was tied in with the Ministry of Agriculture, and most fisherfolks feel that the ministry was overlooked and agriculture was a priority over the fishery sector. I want to thank the leader, Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Godwin Friday, to focus and put some emphasis in developing the fishing industry, to give the fishing industry, blue economy and conservation a ministry that will focus on the way forward to develop the fishing industry in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Harry said he is confident that fishermen are now in a stronger position to hold the new government accountable, noting that the sector's contributions to food security and employment give fisherfolk a legitimate and influential voice.
Most fisherfolks, including myself, I'm a fisherman. I really feel very excited for this new ministry. Most of the fisherfolks are reaching out to me and say, well, we're happy that we have a ministry now that can focus on fisheries related matters, looking at the blue economy, looking at conservation. And I feel, and I have the belief that our new minister, Mr. Conroy Huggins, Minister Huggins, will do an excellent job to move the fishing industry forward for the benefit of all fisherfolks of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I know that fisherfolks have been crying. I know the pain of what the fisherfolks have been feeling. There was nothing much happening to develop the fishing industry as how fisherfolks see the industry should be going forward.
The National Fisherfolk Organization president also outlined several key priority areas that he hopes to address in collaboration with the new government. These include improving safety at sea, modernizing equipment and infrastructure, ensuring reliable access to markets, and providing training to help young people enter the industry.
The situation with the fisherfolks in Lomans Bay, the new fisherfolks legislation, the situation that fisherfolks face on a normal base at the agriculture input warehouse. Our landing site has been deployed. Our jetties has been not in the best condition. The fisherfolks in the northern and the southern Grenadines has experienced a lot of challenges. Fisherfolks in North and North Leeward, North Windward has experienced a lot. So I think with this new ministry, I think we could have a greater understanding, a greater collaboration for the benefit for all fisherfolks and fishers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines going forward.
Meanwhile, newly appointed Minister of Fisheries, Marine and Land Conservation and Climate Resilience, Conroy Huggins, will meet with fisherfolk and stakeholders in the fisheries sector tomorrow, Thursday, December 11th at 2 p.m. According to a news release, the consultation will be held at the Agriculture Import Warehouse in Kingston, a fish market, and is intended to engage key personnel in the sector on matters related to its development. All individuals and groups involved in the fisheries industry are invited to attend. The release further states that earlier this week, the minister, along with senior officials from the ministry, toured several fishing facilities on the windward side of the island. These included the Oya Fisheries Center, the Calico Fisheries Center, and the Agricultural Input Warehouse in Kingston Fish Market. The minister is expected to continue touring additional fisheries facilities in the coming days.